Hammer time.
Holiday edition of Thor's Hammers coming at us, 8:20.
Finally,
going to be busy.
Sorry, finally some snow on those mountains.
Yes.
Good to see.
Yes, if you're going up there, enjoy it. If you're going to the theaters, will you enjoy these two movies? Let's start with Meryl Streep in a musical.
Yes, Broadway meets Hollywood in Disney's adaptation of Stephen Sondheim's hit musical, Into the Woods. Here you go.
Beans in exchange for my cow?
Oh, no, son. These are no ordinary beans. These beans, they carry magic.
Magic? What kind of magic?
Tell him.
It's a magic that defies description.
How many beans?
6.
They're 5.
5.
They're worth £1 each, at least.
Could I buy my cow back someday?
Okay.
There you go.
You know, first let's talk star power. Emily Blunt, Meryl Streep. How do the stars share the screen in this movie?
So well. It's really balanced fine with an ensemble cast. James Corden there, you see, who's taking over for Craig Ferguson on The Late Late Show. And Anna Kendrick plays Cinderella. She was fantastic. Chris Pine is Prince Charming. He is wonderful. He has a great number. And the little girl that played Little Red Riding Hood, Little Red Riding Hood, very cheeky and hilarious. It's got some top-notch musical numbers in it, and it's got that, you know, Rob Marshall approach where everything's sort of really busy and eclectic at the same time, and a beautiful production design with a little bit of a darkness tinged in there as well, because Into the Woods is you know, it's not necessarily for little kids. There's something here that the adults can enjoy too. I found at times, because it combines a lot of different fairy tales, it was a little too much. I mean, I feel like I could have done without the Rapunzel storyline, but there are some great numbers here, including from Meryl Streep and Anna Kendrick, and Emily Blunt is a scene stealer here.
You know, you make an interesting point with the darker twist for Disney, deviating from their traditional formula. How does that work for this company?
You know what, it feels a bit like two different movies at times. Oh, I forgot Johnny Depp. He's got a great cameo too as the wolf. There's like an hour and 10 minutes of this movie is sort of that traditional Disney fare, and then it takes a very dark turn, and they seem to be stuck in the woods for a very long time. That's, to me, narratively where it really slowed down. And honestly, there are like a few too many songs in this film. I felt like some of them could have been left on the cutting room floor. And it's so, you know, obvious. You see it coming a mile away that, you know, like two characters are talking about their struggles and their woes, and you're thinking, there's a song coming. And sure enough, a minute later, they do a song, and it's not always that effective. So I felt like the middle really dragged. But this is a crowd-pleasing movie. Even though it's not for the little kids, I think the whole family can enjoy it. And just to see a lot of these stars doing their own singing and things like that with the great production design, it's got the Disney backing. It is worth your time.
So how many hammers are we going with Into the Woods?
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5 to get us started. Okay, and segueing into the World War II drama, Unbroken. This one's interesting because Angelina Jolie directing on this film.
Yeah, Jolie getting behind the lens, and this is a very tough story to tackle. It's the true story of an Olympic runner who is also a World War II hero in Unbroken, the life of Louis Zamperini. He spent 47 days stranded at sea, only to be captured and sent to a Japanese prisoner of war camp. Lead star Jack O'Connell is exceptional in this role, and it's very challenging, and Unbroken is aesthetically beautiful. It's got the cinematography from Roger Deakins, who is a veteran in his field, so you see the crisp beauty of the movie, you know, sort of juxtaposed between the wartime scenario, his conflicts, and the flashbacks of when he was a runner, but that's sort of the problem I had with the movie. It's very bleak, it's very grim, and I felt sometimes it was a little bit sadistic because it just showed him getting tortured over and over again, and it felt really repetitive.
Quickly, what do you think will be Angelina's signature as a storyteller behind the lens?
I think that's a big problem with the movie. It did not have a signature style to it. I thought in the hands of other directors that were more seasoned and maybe had handled this kind of story before, it would have been much more effective. You take the journey with him and you see all the hardships he goes through, but at the end of the day, you don't feel like you really were emotionally invested in it, and the movie was instantly forgettable as soon as I finished it. Despite it looking beautiful and having some great performances, this one to me was a dud.
How many hammers?
2 out of 5. Big disappointment for Unbroken.
And for the families going to the theater, what do you think is the big winner for a movie to check out?
I would say Into the Woods, or if you got really little kids, Big Hero 6 still in theaters. You might want to check that one out.
Okay, Thor's Hammers.
Yeah.
They're come and gone.